We're here today to talk about Angular Material 2. My name is Elad Bezalel, as Shmuel said. I've been working on Angular Material 1 for a year right now, and on a couple of last month, I've been working on Material 2. But before we start diving in, what is Angular Material? So Angular Material is a project by the Angular team with the aim to provide you high-quality UI components based on the Google Material design spec. Most of you may have heard about the Angular Material 1. Speaking of which, in the last Octoverse, the GitHub conference, Material 1 was rated 9th by the number of contributors. So anyone who has participated and contributed, thank you very much. This is amazing. Our latest release is Angular Material 1.1.1 for Angular 1, of course. Since the release of 1.0, we had so many bug fixes and features that requested by you. So it's still under active development, and it will be for a year or so. But we're here to talk about Angular Material 2. So Angular Material 2 is a complete rewrite of all the good stuff, all the components, so we can use everything of Angular 2. And we released Alpha 0 back at Merge with just 6 components. Currently, last week, we released Alpha 10 with almost 26 components. And we aim to release Beta 0 by the end of this year. So if you're interested, just look at us and see what's going on with that. And as you can see, we've made some progress. After this awful joke, let me show you just what you can actually achieve with Alpha 10 right now. Let me show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to build an app based on the Material Start repository. I've built a Material 2 Start app. This is a tutorial repository, so you can get a material application, just run step by step. And what we're going to do today is this application over here, basically just the Material 2 Start on steroids. I'm going to push as many components as I can so you can see what we can achieve. So right here, I have just a generated project with Angular CLI. I mean, after this day, you probably know what it is. And if you will run it, and just serve, you'll see that it's completely nothing special. The only thing that I've added over here is this avatars SVG that we will use later. So let's wait for the Webpack to build. And what we're going to do is basically just a master detail view. We'll have a users list on the left and the details of the users on the right side. And we're going to use a special module that no one has ever saw yet before. It's called Flex Layout. And just let's see what we got right there. Reload. So we have just the basic Angular CLI. And we're going to use, as I said, Material 2 and a separate module called Flex Layout, which is the complete rewrite of the cool and really good layout system from Material 1, just separate module for Angular 2, not related to Material at all. So let's begin. First thing we want to do is we want to import Material. So let's import. Sorry, let me increase the size. Is it better? All right. You want more? Okay. So let's import from Material, and we will use the Material module. And next thing, as I said, we'll want to use the Flex Layout. So let me just validate it. All right, and from here we'll use the flex layout module, and we're going to import those over here. And we're going to use for root for both of those because we want the instance of them to be singleton. And next thing we want to do is we want to have some CSS. So styles. I have a snippet for that. As you can see, the first line over here is a theme that we'll talk about it. That we'll talk about it later. So let's see what we got. So as you can see, we have our app over here. That's nothing much. It loaded the material and it seems to have a problem with the flex layout. So we'll just, we're not going to use it today, I'm sorry. I swear it worked like yesterday. So right now we do have our material application, but to actually see what we got in material, let's just have some material in it. So in our app component, we'll have a div over here that we will use later, and inside of it we will use a toolbar. And to this toolbar we'll give a color. I'm sorry, let me increase the size. Primary. And as you can see, we have a toolbar. And if you remember the picture that I've showed you about the master detail, we'll have a side nav on the left side and details on the right side. So let's add an MD layout side nav layout over here. This is basically telling the side nav where to be, unlike Material 1 that you just use side nav and then it will pop on everything and you need to pre-configure it. So we'll have side nav layout, and inside of it we'll have MD side nav and div with class details. So if we'll save that, you'll see that we do have details, but our side nav is not shown because we need to configure it to be always open. So we go and give mode side and opened. Let's see what we got. I will answer questions after that, right? Okay. So you can see we have side and details over here. Let's have some classes on the side nav. Yes, in a minute. All right, and we can clearly see that our side nav is now shown and it's on the side. If theoretically the flex layout was working right now, I would show you how easily you can use the Flexbox CSS to use it, but since it's not published yet to NPM, I import it into my vendor, and maybe I can do something like that. Let me try it real quick, and if it's work, then fine. Sorry. Never mind. So theoretically, it would. I will show you how to use the flex layout, but since it's not working right now, let me just add some class over here and over here as well, and we'll call it layout column. that will basically just make our our container, our element container, to have its elements, its children elements inside of it, laid out in a column fashion. So I'll do it over here. All right. And actually, this side nav should be a row. And you can see that now that it takes the entire screen. And next thing we want to do is we want to add the users list. So before that, let's just use tabs, because why not? We can do that. So over here, we'll just say MD tab group. And inside of it, just MD tab, label, users. And maybe we'll have another tab for settings. I don't know, whatever you like. Let it refresh, and you'll see we have tabs just as instant as that. And right now, let's have the actual users list. So we'll go to our project, to our app component, and over here, I pre-generated some users list. Usually, you would get this users list from your server, but since it's just a demo, you'll forgive me. And these users have all these properties like name and details and stuff like that. So let's, in our HTML, let's just display this users list over here. We're going to use something called MD nav list, because we want every list item to be clickable and to behave like it's going to navigate us somewhere. So inside of it, we'll have MD list item, and we'll use ng4. User of users, and over here we'll just for now have username, and let's see what we got right now. We have a list of users, and next thing we want to do, we want to use the icon, the avatar for each user that we have in our users list. So this avatar property links us, not links, just tells us what the ID of the SVG. We have in our assets SVG over here, we have a set of SVGs. It's just a list of many SVGs with ID. So every time we will ask this SVG, give me this ID, it would just bring us this SVG. And to use this set, we're going to use something called the icon registry. So in here, we'll have a constructor with icon registry. Sorry. And it will be of type MD icon registry. And we're actually going to use the dependency injection of Angular to get this icon registry out of Material 2. And inside of this icon registry, we have add SVG icon set in namespace, and it just gets two parameters. One is the namespace, we'd call it avatars, and one is the path to the SVG file, so assets avatars SVG. And right now, every time we will use this namespace, it will take the SVG out of there, and I'll show you how to do it. We'll use MD icon SVG icon, and over here we will say avatar at user.avatar. Let's see what we got. Sorry. I'm pretty excited, so don't judge me. avatars. Let's see. All right, so we do have the avatars of the users. But this is nothing, man. I mean, you don't have to. So next thing we want to do, we want to add the avatar, because I don't like how it's styled, so I have an avatar style, and we're going to override the MD list item height, because we are not using native, we're not using anything that really material expects for, so we're going to override the height to be initial. Let's give it important, so not. And let's see. Oh, forgot to add the class over here, sorry. And now you can clap. Thank you. I'm just kidding. All right, so next thing we want to do is we want to display the details of each users in this area over here. So in the details over here, we will like to implement a selected user functionality. So let's have a selected user. And over here, let's initiate it with the first user. And at the HTML, we'll use the same MD icon for the selected user. We'll use h2 for the name. And would use a paragraph for the selected user details. And next thing we want to do, let's see what we got. But next thing we want to do is we want that every time the user clicks on the nav list or list item, we want to the user details, the selected user to be updated. So over here, as simple as that, bind the click to selected user equals to the current user. Let's see what we got. And cool. But I don't like that it's just thrown away like that. Let's wrap everything with MD card. And as I told you, I want to push as many components as I can to show you. So MD card over here. And let's give this card some margin. And what I have on the users list, I have more data that I can't display right now. Is admin and is cool. And I want to have like another card over here with a slider toggle that indicates if admin and cool. And we will use the ng model for it, but we want to use two-way data bind, so I'm going to throw a phrase that the Angular core team invented, which called bananas in a box. And what it basically says is, these are the bananas, and this is the box, and we're going to write ng model over here. And that way you won't forget, like, ever because it won't work either way. You can't have bananas wrapping in a box. I mean, it's weird. So we have a selected user over here, is admin. And the same for is cool. Is Q. And you can see that we have our slider. Of course it's not working. And it's not working, it isn't by intention, all right? It's not working because material is dependent on something called Emmer.js. Emmer.js is a framework that handles user interaction and touch event and stuff like that. So all you have to do, if you want to use the slider toggle and many other components that uses gestures and stuff like that, all you have to do is just import Emmer.js, and it would work again. As you can see here, it says Emmer.js is not loaded. We'll wait for it to load. And we have sliders. And it's updated. Cool. I think it's like the most applause I've ever got. So if we had our material, our flex layout module over here, I would show you how you can do breakpoints and stuff like that, but sadly, really, I don't know why it's not working. It will be available. And next thing I want to show you is I want to tell you how to theme your application, because I don't really like those colors. I mean, indigo and pink, it's like the common theme everywhere. So let's try and avoid that and have like our own themes. So in our SRC, I'm going to add a file called themes.scss, and I'm going to explain to you how the themes are working correctly. In Material 1, we had this robust engine that interpolates really just compiles and creates the CSS and the styles for each component for your theme and push it in the add tag and the HTML. And that's really created a lot of issues for IE users, and many, it was overloading your app. So in Material 2, we decided to just pre-compile everything. You would have just a vanilla CSS generated style, generated theme, and just like this one over here, the pre-built indigo pink. But we provide you a Sass mixins so you can actually create those themes by yourself. So let me show you how you can create this theme. I'm going to use this mixin from the theming in Material. So let me increase the size. And next thing, we want to include the MD core mixin. This function just really imports the styles for a repel and everything that it's really core of Material. And next thing, we will drag to create our primary palette. So we'll have MD palette. Right? And it will be, I don't know, red. And our accent color would be blue. Next thing, we'll have accent, I wrote, right? Next thing, we'll have a theme, and we'll use the MD light theme function that gets the primary and the accent colors and create the theme. And we will include Angular material theme and have this theme over here. And because this is a separate file and this is Sass and not less, we will have to tell the Angular CLI to also compile it when it loads. So we'll have here themes.scss. Hopefully we aim to eventually have also a less version of the mixins, but it's just not ready yet. Let me serve it again, and you'll see how with just 10 lines of I don't know if to call it code, we have a separate theme. Right. Let's see. Can't refresh. All right. There you go. So what if I'd like to have, all right, what if I'd like to have another theme? Let's say a dark theme, and I want to and I want to just have a toggle button that changes between those themes. So all I have to have is another class that contains another theme, and whichever component I would choose to give this class, it would automatically color the entire components beneath it within with this class, with this theme. I'm sorry. So let's copy and paste here. I'm going to change those. Dark theme, and we're going to have the dark theme function over here, and instead of red, let's have purple and green. So nothing supposed to be changed right now in our application. Let's make sure of that. It's still red and blue, and I want to add in the toolbar, I want to add another button that would open a menu, and inside this menu we're going to have a toggle button for the theme. So we'll have a button over here, and inside of this button I'm going to have an MD icon, and this MD icon I will write inside of it more vert, and it's just basically the 3 dots that you see everywhere. And MD icon is really smart by taking this text and finding it inside of the material icons font that we imported beforehand, and it would just put the SVG and the icon inside of it. And outside we'll have an MD menu, and all this button does is just triggers our menu. Unlike Material 1, this menu is just the pop-up that you see, the thing that opens. So we have our menu over here, and we'd have a button with MD menu item, and it would be dark theme. And this button would be something called MD menu trigger for, and I would give it a name menu, and I would call this menu. Let's see if we got the button right and the menu is really opened. And I forgot to give it the attribute MD icon button. As you can see, it really opened let's wait for it, really opened the menu for us. So let's bind this button to our theme. So we'll have over here click that is dark theme equals notice dark theme, and we'll bind this div over here, class dark theme, and this would really apply the dark theme class when its dark theme is true. And let's initiate it with false over here. And that's it. So let's wait for it to compile, and you'll see the magic in your eyes. Boom. So what lies ahead of us? Everything you've seen today is ready and available in Alpha 10. Everyone that is talking to me is saying, what about more components? I want to use autocomplete and I want to use chips. So I assure you we're working very hard to bring you even more components so you can use them. But before we can really achieve and go to beta, we need to polish and stabilize our framework so you can get a firm API and you won't have any breaking changes. And really thought API that you can use. And after that, we'll bring you even more components. We aim to reach parity with Angular Material 1, and just we're working very hard to bring you the best UI component framework that we can. We do have some early prototypes of components that we can't show you today because it's not ready yet, but be sure to watch our next presentations. I want to thank these guys that helped me with this presentation. Everything you've seen today is available at this links. I'll tweet as well the slides so you can get these links it easy. This is my handle over there, Elad Bezalel, under Twitter. And thank you very much for coming.